Hi everyone, welcome to ALF training webinar number 13. I feel like we've done a lot more of these than 13, but I guess they take a lot of time to do. So on the line with me is my beautiful wife, Cheryl. How are you doing?
Hello. Hi, thanks.
And there's a picture of you and our boy, who is a lot older than that now. So anyway, today we're doing a survey a webinar again, and it is about two different surveys. They happen to be ECC facilities, but not many tags regarding the ECC license. We're trying to find some of those to build them in, but should we get right to it, Cheryl? Let me make sure you can see my... Okay, let's start with 9.6, okay? 9.6, you can see my my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a survey that was done this year, and I'll just take it from the top. They got a bunch of tags you see here, all the different tags. So we'll go through them one by one. So basically, it was an unannounced visit, a complaint survey, and based on the observation, the first tag they got tagged for was assistance with self-administered medication. They didn't do the proper, they didn't follow the proper process of self-administering medication. And on 2 of the residents, 3 of the 4 sampled residents. Okay, so observation of MedPass revealed staff A removed a pill that was prepackaged in its container from the medication storage cart in the presence of resident number 1. Staff A crushed the pill, placed it in a cup of vanilla pudding, and stirred it. Staff A removed the medication pudding mixture with a spoon and spoon-fed resident number 1 medication. Observation also revealed staff A did not read the label in the presence of the resident. Okay, the next thing, you're going to see a pattern here. Observation MedPass revealed staff A removed pill that was in a prepackaged in a container. They crushed it, put it in pudding, stirred it, and spoon-fed the resident number 2. And also they did not read the label to the resident. And then they also, at that one, they also left the medication cart, went to the resident's room, and spoon-fed the resident. So there are three mistakes there. And then they did it again. They crushed the pill, put it in a cup of vanilla pudding, stirred it, and hand-fed resident number 3's medication. And they also did not read the medication label in the presence of the resident. Interview conducted with staff A. Staff A stated she was not a nurse. Staff A stated she always gives resident number 2 his medication with a spoon. Staff A stated resident 2 will hold the spoon but will not put it into his mouth. So I just give it to him. Staff A stated she spoon feeds all the residents that cannot do it themselves. So then they interviewed the administrator. The administrator acknowledged this was at the exit interview that they do. They bring the administrator in and exit interview. Those are our favorites. And the administrator acknowledged that staff A did not follow the requirements for assisting with self-administration of medication by placing the spoon in the resident's mouth, and also by not reading the medication to the resident, which you need to do before you give it to them. So let's talk about that.
It's hard to say this could have been completely avoided. That reading and not leaving the medication unattended could definitely have been avoided with more training, but it sounds like the residents aren't capable of doing it themselves.
Yeah,
they do need the administration of medication, so that's something that they can't, correct right away. They'll have to.
Once it goes into feeding the residents the medication, it's considered administration, not assistance with self-administration, and it would need to be done by a nurse. Now they do allow you to help the resident. I mean, like if they can hold the spoon and you can kind of guide their hand to their mouth. We've been in a ACA meeting and they actually demonstrated that that's still allowed.
Right.
But,
I like to get everything in writing too. I like to get when they need their medications crushed and put in pudding or some sort of
Yeah, like
concoction.
they
I
could
get
have,
that in writing too.
they could have cited them for that, unless they had in writing that said that the doctor says that they can crush medications. So, because it
And
might
you
not be
all,
in the directions of the medication.
well, you have to make sure that with the pharmacist that the medications can be crushed too.
True. So even though the doctor says, yeah, it's
That not everything can be crushed, so you need to make
right.
sure check those out too.
Yeah, like an extended release type of capsule, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Um, but that's for the experts. We're here to follow directions and follow the protocol. Protocol is, I mean, first of all, don't do medications in front of other people. Go get the medication from a secured cabinet. Uh, one by one, read the medication label to the resident, tell them what it's for, give it to them, watch them take it, and then log that you observe them. That's why it's called a medication observation record, MOR, instead of a medication administration record, or a MAR, because we're observing they're taking it. So a quick reminder is make sure your staff, and if you're an employee, do not pre-sign do not pre-sign these medications, that you because you'll get caught. You'll say, well, how could you have witnessed it when you didn't even do the med pass yet? So do it afterward.
And that's something when you have new hires to watch out for too. Sometimes the training's it's long and it's a difficult thing, and depending on how much experience or practice they've gotten, that's something I've seen new hires do often. So we watch that when we hire somebody.
Mm-hmm.
No pre-signing, pre-cupping.
Alrighty. Next one. Medication records. Okay, based on record review and interview, the facility failed to record and update the medication observation record log book for 3 of the 3 sampled residents, 1, 5, and 7, that were assisted by staff with self-administration. So review of resident 1's MORs revealed staff did not sign off or initial the MOR dated February 1st, 2nd, 14th, 22nd, required medication. So there was no staff explanation listed for the blank spaces on the MOR for these dates. Then they looked at resident number 5, revealed the staff did not sign off on or initial on the 2nd, the 7th, the 10th, the 13th, 14th, 18th, 22nd.
So as
There
long
was
as
no
you
staff
document.
explanation. Yeah. There was no staff explanation for the blank spaces. Okay. Resident number 7 revealed that there was no signature initial on 2nd, 3rd, 7th, 14th, 22nd. A lot of the same dates. That's what we look at. Like, what's going on here? If we miss something, which employee is doing this? But it should be checked every day.
Definitely.
And then they interviewed the assistant administrator, stated she was unaware why the MORs had blank spaces for residents 1, 5, and 7. No explanation listed or with no explanation listed at the bottom of the page. Class 3. So,
But if you're finding that you're having a problem with blank spaces, you could always do a staff check when the next staff comes in. They check the books, together. You could put some sort of protocol in place to make sure that these books are being signed for. Or if the medication wasn't given, they need to write the explanation of what happened. Because that happens too. They refuse meds.
Right. Okay. So, next one is labeling and orders, medication labeling and orders. Cheryl, you want to read this one?
Well, I like hearing your voice.
Oh, okay. But I'm trying to give people a break from my voice, so.
Okay, I'll share you.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Based on observation, interview, and record review, the facility failed to ensure the physician's orders were followed for assistance with self-administration for medication of 1 of 4 residents. So during an observation, resident 1 was lying in her bed, being assisted by staff A, and staff D preparing a place the lidocaine 5% top patch on the back. So they're going to put the patch on the back. Review of resident 1's medical chart revealed a health assessment form dated for January 23rd. The health assessment form revealed resident 1 requires assistance with self-administered medication for all medication. Review of the physician's order confirmed resident 1 is to receive lidocaine at 8 a.m. every day, once a day, and to be left on for up to 12 hours. No additional physician orders were located in the Resident 1 chart regarding any changes for the lidocaine patch. So let's see here. The doctor's order said that the patch was to be put on once a day and left up to 12 hours.
Right.
And
at
what
8
were they
a.m.
doing?
Well, they put it on at 9:36 a.m. So they were an hour and a half, hour and 36 minutes late. So what the surveyor went to look to see if there was a change in the orders. They found out there wasn't a change, and so what they did was they interviewed Staff A again at 9:30 a.m. Staff A stated that she did not apply the patch, at the time because Resident 1 had just got done eating and they hadn't put her in her bed yet. So they were late to put the medication patch on.
Yeah, that, those specific times can be tricky. Because actually, I mean, sometimes it's just written like once a day, and then it's, you have some sort of flexibility, yeah. But the time ones, maybe the ones that have a real hard time, that it needs to be like put a star next to it or something.
Right. So they asked the administrator what, about the patch, and if the Resident 1 does not have to require, the change of physician orders, and she stated that the patch should have been applied at 8 a.m. or within the hour, and she confirmed that the staff did not follow the policy. So they had the hour leave, but they went over the time.
Right. Hour before or hour after, huh? Okay.
Yes.
Assistance with self-administered, next tag is training. Assistance with self-administered medication med management, which probably makes sense considering they just got tagged with a few tags for training, so they're going to want to see their people's. So based on interview, record review failed to ensure 1 of 4 sampled employees obtained the initial 4-hour medication training required of unlicensed personnel prior to providing assistance with self-administered medication to residents. So during a tour of the assisted living facility memory care unit, Staff A was observed preparing medication to assist a resident with self-administration. A record review of employee A's personnel file revealed a 2-hour medication update training dated for March 21st. No evidence was located in the employee's file to verify an employee obtained the required 4-hour initial training. An interview conducted with the assistant administrator. The administrator said that employee A just has the 2-hour update, and this is expired.
Yikes! So that's not good either. Sometimes those 4-hour classes are really hard to find, but
well, then you just got to have another employee doing the medication.
I know. I always tell people we have a few days before they take that class, do not touch the medication, not even a Tylenol. Don't touch anything.
But there may not have been another employee on the floor. Who knows?
Well, we make adjustments.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We make sure there's another employee there, or we're there to do it.
I'm not talking about us, because we always have 3 or 4 caregivers on duty at any time.
But I'm just saying. But you would have to make sure someone's brought in to do that.
Yeah.
Or when the state's there, you should know.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Next tag was for training, documentation, and monitoring. Based on interview and record review, the assisted living facility failed to ensure personnel files for 2 of the 4 sampled employees contained certificates of staff in-service training to document the training was received. So a record review of employee B and C revealed a list of staff in-service training signed by the facility administrator and employee B, and signed by the administrator and employee C. Neither employee B or employee C personnel file contained certificates documenting training was received on resident rights or incident reporting. Recognizing abuse, neglect, and exploitation. So the 2 things they didn't have in the file were resident rights and abuse, neglect, and exploitation. So, yep, that's just oversight, and it happens.
It's oversight. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, try to get all this stuff before they even start. And using myalftraining.com is a great way to do it, because it's really inexpensive and convenient.
It is. And then, if you lose your certificate, you can call Calais and get a new one.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's option
Just
number
kidding.
2. That's tech
If you want
support.
to hear his voice.
Yeah, but yeah, we have a subscription program. So if you have a facility, I mean, it's so convenient. You're a manager, administrator, you log in, you add a new employee, you just put their name, create a password, and then you enroll them in all the courses that they need. You put the whole package, in-service training package. You get Alzheimer's level 1, level 2. You can be memory care with those designations. So, I mean, the subscription package is just a great deal. It also includes your administrator CEUs, which we normally charge $65 for. So, okay. And actually, the continuing education training, the CEUs for administrators, we include these webinars in there. So basically, you don't have to watch these webinars and not get credit. You can get credit by taking our training. Okay, enough plugging our business. Okay. Class 3 violation. Next tag was a background screening prohibited offenses. Based on interview and record review, the assisted living facility failed to conduct the level 2 background screening after one of 4 sampled employees. Okay, they had a break after they had a break of more than 90 days. Findings include record review of employee B's personnel file revealed that employee B's date of hire was May 19th. A review of employee B's employment application dated for April revealed employee B separated from her previous employer on February 5th. So there was a break between February and April, and where she worked as a med tech and a cook. So then they looked at the background screening website and revealed that the last background screening request submitted for employee B was back a year prior in August. So even though they had it done in August of 2013, they had a break, right? A break of employment.
Yeah, can't have the 90 days, more than 90 days.
So they had to get they had to run it again, right? They don't have to get a new fingerprint, they had to run it again, right?
Do it again, yes.
Right.
Okay.
You usually do it every time anyway, don't you?
Of course, yes.
Yep. Okay. Regardless of the break. No evidence was located in employee B's personnel file that a new background check screen was submitted. The administrator stated she was unaware of rescreening requirements after 90-day gap of employment.
Okay, and that's that one.
That's 96. We'll go to the next one. Let's
59.
stop sharing this. And okay, where is it? 59. Bear with us, folks, 1 second here. There it is. Okay, you're seeing this here? 3
Yep.
tags. Okay.
This one is a complaint investigation, and they had some deficiencies at the time of the visit. And they had resident care supervision was the first one. And they, based on the record review, ACA said they failed to provide appropriate supervision to one of 3 of the sample residents at risk for elopement. So what happened was they interviewed the administrator, and the administrator stated that employee A broke facility policy. The administrator stated that the facility's policy is to keep the secure units back door locked. The administrator stated that employee A had the door unlocked and open and left the residents in the courtyard unsupervised. The administrator states that the door policy was put in place because resident 1 previously had attempted to elope from the facility. So that's good. They, saw that they had some sort of a...
Yeah, and they put a policy in place.
Yeah, they put a policy in place. So, good for them. Those are things sometimes you have to learn the hard way. So the resident 1 tried to elope. The administrator states that the door policy was implemented, and the administrator states that resident number 1 eloped 3 times from the facility. So, they're admitting to that this person's at risk, and they should be in a locked, secure place, and they put the policy in. The administrator stated that resident 1's elopement that was in July was during an activity that was being held in the main building, which was unsecured. Resident 1 was seen climbing over the secured unit's fence.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
gosh, it's terrible, and was given a 45-day discharge notice. The administrator stated that the resident tried it again before the 45 days was up, and the administrator states after the second time we put the lock on the back door and created the door policy.
Well, I'll tell you,
The
I mean,
administrator,
I'll tell you what, I mean, this is a responsible facility because they feel like they can't keep him safe. So they've done
sure.
what they're supposed to do, 45-day notice. I mean, the 45-day
I think
notice
I would have.
makes it hard.
It's long. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard. I think I would have tried to get him, notify the doctor personally and let them
Emergency
know
discharge
what's
or
going
something.
on, and to maybe try to get an emergency discharge or placement into a really, more secure
Secure.
lockdown facility. Something. That could be one way, but you never know how the family reacts and the doctor. So, but they did put some things in place to help keep this person safe, but there were some shortfalls, unfortunately. And they got
So the administrator residents have the administrator states the secured unit residents are to have supervised smoking out the back door. And employee A was negligent with the door policy. Okay. So
well, at least she admitted it and didn't try to lie.
yeah.
So they need to make sure no one goes over the fence.
Oh my gosh.
Right. I'm glad we don't have this kind of issue to deal with.
Well, we don't have a
Okay,
secure
so
facility.
she
Yeah.
wants the staff to watch the residents, make sure no one goes over the fence when you're outside with them. Employee A states that she was aware that resident 1 has eloped before and jumped the fence and was found on the side street. It's really scary. And she was informed before the elopement that he was left. Oh, that they left before and was gone for a few days. That was scary. It's
Okay.
sad. It's sad that people get like this.
Yeah.
So
Interview was conducted with the supervisor.
from the mental health case management team, and the supervisor stated that the ALF was aware that resident 1 was an elopement risk because the doctor put that down on the 1823. That was an
Was the
elopement
reason
risk.
why we got him a secured facility to have more
Sure.
supervision. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's maybe he needs a little bit more secure place because it sounds like they have activities in an unsecured building. So he may need to be in one of those designated kind of memory care places that have all the activities and food and everything's brought in.
Okay. So resident care coordinator. Okay. Is this the second?
Well, this 4 and 5 are still talking about.
Okay, let's go on to the next one here.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a huge investigation. They went on and
Right.
on.
I mean, it just says that sometimes they find him in the hospital, jail, or he's returned by the police. So
Yeah.
he's just a big elopement risk. And,
I do not want somebody like that in our facility. Okay.
Oh my gosh, no, it's so scary.
Yeah. Okay, the next one they got cited for.
That's why you have to ask questions, Calais.
Yeah,
It's several
hard
different
to tell,
ways.
But the family they have to know that the facility, if it can handle it. I mean, so.
Right,
okay.
yeah.
Based on so the next one they got cited for was elopement standards. Based on interview record review, the assisted living facility failed to adhere to policies and procedures set forth by the assisted living facilities to prevent further occurrences of elopement of one of 3 residents sampled. So the interview was conducted with the owner. The owner stated resident 1 was given a 45-day notice to discharge due to the elopement behavior. The owner stated he actually got over the fence and the staff saw him and brought him back immediately. The owner stated she was aware of resident 1 was an elopement risk and he has a long history of trying to leave facilities. So an interview was conducted with employee B. Employee B stated when the residents are outside of the secure unit facility, staff are supposed to be with the residents. Employee B stated at the time when resident 1 eloped, the chairs in the courtyard were not bolted down. So resident 1 used a patio chair against the fence to get over the fence and elope from the facility. Employee B stated the assisted living facility placed a lock on the exit door to the enclosed courtyard area on January or February, employee B stated the door is to be locked by staff, and staff are to unlock the patio door to allow the secure unit residents into the courtyard. Sounds like prison. So they were unaware that the back door was unlocked and assumed that everyone was inside the building. This is, I mean, it's just a detailed thing about that. So they basically cited them for not following the procedures that they put in place. So they got cited for not caring for the resident properly, right?
Right.
And then by not following the procedures that were set forth. So if they didn't have that procedure, they wouldn't have been tagged. If they didn't have the procedure, they would have only been tagged once, I guess. Okay. Boy, this goes on and on.
I guess I was just more training about it, more training about policies, and
this is a
more
homework
elopement drill.
this one here.
This was a big one, but
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to like move down here to the end here. Okay, so the next tag, I think the final tag is training staff in service training. A facility failed to ensure one of 3 surveyed employees received in-service training regarding the facility's resident elopement policies and procedures. So they went hard after.
It doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
All of the elopement. I'll definitely put this into our elopement training because this is definitely good.
This is a good one.
record review was conducted on employee A's personal file. No evidence was located in the personal file that employee A completed training on the assisted living facilities, elopement policies and procedures. And I want to talk about this briefly because I get a lot of phone calls on this. We do offer an elopement and wandering training, but the facility, each facility has its own policies and procedures, right? Like when you do an elopement drill, Cheryl, your facility has specific standards and protocols that it is supposed to follow.
Where to go, who to call.
Who to call, who's in charge, this whole process. So we can't just have an online training that satisfies that. So even in our training, it states that you have been given a copy of your facility's elopement procedures. That's the most important piece. So your facility, you need to definitely teach your employees your elopement policies and procedures, and that's what they want. So these employees didn't have that training, right?
Right. Which doesn't surprise me that that's what they were looking for after the fact that they had so many issues with the elopement. But yeah, I mean, it's just
okay. The administrator stated that it might be in another location. She had maybe a different place she keeps files, but the administrator never provided verification of employee A received training on facilities, elopement policies, and procedures.
Well, then they probably just didn't have it.
Yep. So you're new hire, you watch this video, or you're a manager, or you make sure you give every employee a copy of your policies and procedures with regard to elopement, and make sure you have a certificate to show that record. So I think we have it all on one certificate, don't we? A lot of the different trainings we give for new hires.
We do.
Yeah, and then and I think that's about it. What do you think, Cheryl?
Yes.
Is it a little bit of a long one?
Well, I'm just starving, but no big deal.
Okay, I'll take you to
Just
lunch.
kidding.
Okay, guys.
Give me lunch.
Look forward to a lot more training, and we've started a caregiver training series as well with customer service and handling difficult situations, a lot of different things that we'll be doing. So if you're an administrator and you want your employees to have some training on handling difficult situations, de-escalation of situations, then look for those trainings. It'll be on my ALF training, and will also be in our Care Association YouTube channel and on the website. Okay? Thanks, guys. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.